กินไม้มังไง
Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys a few things on Cannon Rush that you might or might not know. Now, you always start off with the pylon. You can start it here and get your forge here, or in this case, where I like to put it, you put it over here and sneak it over. Now, when you send it off, you still have to go and send a probe out to do a cannon rush, but you're just hiding it from your opponent, because in this situation, if he comes in to scout your base, most of the time they'll forget or to look very closely. They'll just think proxy forgate or something's proxied, because there's no forge, nothing. I don't see a gateway. You want them to think that there's something wrong versus thinking, oh, there's a forge already. Because when they move up the ramp, they're gonna see the forge and you're gonna have to react. You're gonna have to react faster because they know exactly what they're looking for. But when you have it hidden, they don't know what to look for. They think other things. They're scouting around. They don't see gases being taken. And so in this actual cannon rush, it's actually very convenient to have two probes. I'll explain to you why. As a cannon rusher, you have to find opportunities everywhere. Everywhere is an opportunity. This right here is an opportunity. 3 pylons. You want to keep it at 3, maximum 4 pylons to actually create your contain. You would normally want 3 at the most. 4 is stretching it, but it is doable if you do it quick enough and you're at your opponent's, near your opponent's nexus or command center, because the objective is to get there to the mineral line or to the nexus quick so that the stalkers don't get you or the tanks don't come out. So plenty of places. I prefer this spot right here as well. It's a good spot, and that's only because of course the base is right here. I can eventually cannon this area and then start kicking them all out or kill it or win the game. So I mean, this also will work, but it gets a little grim on the actual space. Right, you can get that in. So some nice places here. Now when you're doing a cannon rush, there's a high ground and a low ground cannon rush. The higher ground cannon rush is a little more riskier but more rewarding. You're not having to worry about a very slow cannon leap, especially these days. People are a lot more efficient versus cannon rush. So if you do it at the low ground and you're too slow to get to the high ground with your cannon rush, what happens is the stalkers on the opponent's side or Terran bunkers on the opponent's high ground is already being a problem of cannon rushing. So that is a predicament. So the low ground is not as rewarding as the high ground, but it is riskier. So there's this spot right here that's on both sides, both my enemy's base and the lower base. Your probe right here is the one that made the pylon. This one's the one that made the forge. And I like to do this particular one right here, because it's gonna allow me a cannon right here, and there's a little X. So here goes the cannon, right? If they try to attack the pylons, I could always get the cannon at the bottom with the pylon, and that way this cannon will be powered by this one, right? If they're taking all these out, if the probe decides to take out the center probe pylon, which is what we would want to have attacked, you'll be able to make a pylon here. There's a little gap between the space of the cannon and the space of the pylon between two squares. See that? So if this gets attacked and killed, you can immediately make a pylon before they can get there. And that's gonna wall this up again. If they take, now if you're trying to deny a cannon rusher, typically with the 3 pylon, you would actually, an example, come over here, right? If you see a cannon rusher, you start you start attacking. And then get the cannon right here. And this cannon's coming up. There's 3 pylons. I can't power any other pylons, so you come in and you deny them, right? But you have to kill all the pylons in order to get the cannon up from going up. Boom. So you're able to kill the pylons in time before the cannon can come up, and now it's depowered. Now one thing about that is it takes about 30 seconds for you to actually kill all these pylons, and you know, so that's 30 seconds, which is 30 minerals times all these probes. You normally have about 360 mineral loss on an average of you pulling all the probes at the time, killing all 3 and going back to mine. It's about a 350, 360 average loss doing that. It really depends on the length of the map, but in this case it's about almost a nexus worth. So although you're killing it, there's also a predicament of you actually wasting a lot of resources.
Wow,
now
you mined all those minerals already. Look at you.
Let's kill this cannon, right? I'm gonna kill this cannon right here. Done. Right? So boom. Right? What you could do to save resources is come here and start attacking. See that? So what happened is you made 2 pylons, you canceled them twice, so that's actually 50 resources that you lost in that whole trade. So 50 resources to get inside here and deny the probe versus 360 to go fully probe, attack, and then try to get the Zealot to finish off that cannon. You can be way more efficient this way. See that? So you just come over here, you make a pylon here. Now here's the interesting part. Here's an interesting part, right? Now, as a cannon rusher, you're not very happy with that. You're like, oh shoot, you know, that's not good. He can get in there like that. But as a cannon rusher, if you're ahead of the game, if you could put your probe right here, he can't get there, right? But I could get in through here, but it doesn't let you, right? Doesn't let you. Doesn't let you. Well, we have a predicament. How are we going to get inside if this probe is blocking the path? Well, one way is creating a force to get in by force. And he's like, oh man, what the hell? He's in, and you make a pylon, or you disrupt them, you attack, you know, you guys both go at it, and you pull another one in if you want to pull another one. This one he's gonna be focused on the probe, so you can actually get in there and attack him, right? Before he can make the cannon. Or you know, there's different things that can happen. So yes, you can block them, but yes, by force you can put them out. Now say you want to make it more conservative on the resources. Remember I said that you can't get in because he's holding the probe position, and I had to make a pylon here in order to get that probe in. So what we could do is, if you block, see how it's showing a little square right here on the probes, can't build there. That's the same thing that a pylon creates. And so by doing that, you can actually use the probes as the pylon source and get inside. And you can use less pylons and just bring in probes to do it and get inside real quick. And now you're in. You know. Now the other place that it does help you in is when you do a pylon. You know, this is normally what happens. You come in, you forge, you start your forge, right? You go to his base. Then the other probe comes over here, and then you make you know, you make the pylon first, then you make the forge, and then you make a gateway, right? Or you make a pylon. Some people put a pylon here. I wouldn't recommend pylon forge pylon. I recommend a pylon forge gateway as the more optimal way of cannon rushing. But right here, what happens is when you go cannon rush and you contain yourself inside, you're like, well, I can't get out. There's no way to get out. I can't get out of here. You know, you could go over here and try to get out, right? But you're like, oh man, I can't get out. It doesn't let me. Well, if you make a pylon here, then you can get out. See how that worked? So that's how you cannon rush and counter cannon rush in a conservative. If you want more of these from me, I can do other maps. Just put it in the comments if you guys like these tricks. The probe trick that you guys seen right here, the counter probe trick, I actually learned on my own. and just always trying to find ways to get better. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Talk to you later.
Florencio, you filthy sewer mermaid, Mr. Hanky steaming piece of shit. I love you and hate you at the same time. Oh, you glorious game-breaking mother trucker.